Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are doing a discussion over Riff Raff, which is a game I have literally never heard of.
Yep. I've only seen it at one store, the store I bought it from.
Yeah, funny enough, we just did a review for Minara, which is done by the same company, so they must just do dexterity games.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a game that you brought up when we were reviewing Men at Work, right?
Yeah.
And it made me think of another game, but it is nowhere near as cool as this one. This one,
it's super unique.
Yeah, in the Minara discussion, I asked at the very end whether a dexterity game is more fun, competitive, or cooperative. Well, I'm now convinced it's competitive.
Yeah.
Literally, 10 minutes
I think competitive.
later. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
It might just be the game style, but yeah, this one was just so... Both Men at Work and this one, I just cracked up the whole time.
And this one is unique.
Mainly a Brett, again.
So again, what I will say...
No! That's the one I didn't collect.
Men at Work, what we said during that review was... It's a little more chaotic because you never know what you're going to get in the next turn, and you play on the whim, basically, right?
Yeah.
Here, and then Minara had actual strategy, a lot. The dexterity was the secondary part of the strategy game.
Yeah.
This, to me, is almost kind of the sweet middle ground.
Yeah.
I have strategy because I know what all my cards are. I know what all of your guys' cards are.
Right.
And you play highest number to lowest, which means from top to bottom. And so... I could go first by playing 10 and beat out everybody, but take the most risky spot. Yeah. But if I succeed, that means everybody else is going to suffer because of my success.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's beautiful.
I don't know, there is just something about making a dexterous move and pulling it off in a competitive game where it's everyone can't help but be impressed, where it's oh wow, that worked.
Right, when I put my guy literally just on his
just
pinky.
hanging, and I'm like, geez, that I would have never tried doing that.
Right, and it worked. And literally, he was hanging on by pinky because I looked and it's oh shoot, that might have not enough.
Well, it's also funny because what they add in this game is the element of because mostly it's balancing or placing, but that element of catching, which is gonna make anyone panic when they're trying It's just which just makes it worse and makes it more chaotic.
Yeah.
Brett, what do you think?
Sucked. No, it was actually
trash.
No, it was cool. For everything that you said, the strategy about which piece to use so that you get rid of them in the right order. Which ones have the most friction, which ones are worse to balance. I mean, it's a surprising amount of strategy without being a strategic game.
Right.
And again, I agree with you. It's a good balance.
Yeah, literally. This game is just so wacky with these popsicle sticks that are I think that my very first move I was oh yeah, okay, can't tilt that far down, and I'm like it's not happening. We're still trying to make it work. Well, my plan was, because I think Brett placed first, and then he went to catch it, but it landed up on the ship.
Right.
My plan was to place it to where it knocked and bounced on top of the green box, but I'm nope.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna try. But with the cards, what's very interesting is, because there's a lot of games where it's okay, I know we all have the same set of 1 through 10, love letter kind of thing, or where it's okay, what do I think you're going to play? Do I want to play that? And I'm well, why would you ever willingly play a 1 or a 2? And it's oh, well, because the card number corresponds to where you have to place on the ship. It's oh.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes it way easier, because it's okay, do I burn all my lower cards for stability to get them out? But the more the bottom is stable, the more the ship's probably not going to sway as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, I'll even go chaos mode where, everybody's done 3s and 4s. I'm just going to put another 3 and 4 and just watch that boat.
Just slowly. It's And, yeah, I don't know if there's, a set, if it's chess rules where it's I placed it, and how long does it have to stay on there? Because technically, this just fell off after claiming the game was over.
Several minutes.
Right. So the way we normally have played this in the past, like if you stand back and the boat sways and then, starts to dampen its frequency, and it kind of starts to go to stable, it's stable at that point.
Yeah.
And then we play another card. And we've done where the rules, like, everybody plays a card and, something falls off. Well, it's nobody's fault at that point.
Yeah,
So
well,
just
we
count
literally
off.
had that. So it's
Right.
I really don't know why this game wouldn't do so well, unless it was wickedly expensive.
It might have been because it was...
How old is it?
That's a good question.
I just wonder if some of these games were released before dexterity games became known and popular.
I mean, so I bought it in probably 18.
Okay,
And I don't know how new it was at that point.
Okay.
I'll look it up. Riff Raff.
Just wonder if the Vanguard,
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
so the vanguard of any genre
Yeah.
usually fails because nobody's ready for it.
I mean, some of it might be... It was probably semi-expensive. There's a lot of wood and a lot of heavy wood. There's
Yeah.
fairly large metal bearing at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It's also a dexterity game, which when I think about, there aren't as many dexterity games, and
A lot
people don't-
Flick 'em
people-
Up is probably the one that really kickstarted that.
Yeah.
Flip Ships, I know a lot of people like. It was mainly flicking games that
Yeah.
people really enjoyed.
People who took Crokinole and then made it into other games.
Exactly. But this one is absolutely unique. It has a 6.9
Yeah, it's
on
super
BGG.
unique.
It's like a, I mean, 6.9 to me is basically a 7, which is a good
Right.
game. But on Board Game Geek, that's basically trash.
Right.
Because
And I can understand
every
where
game
some
that comes
people-
out is an 8.
Yeah. I mean, some of it could be that it is hard to set up to make sure the ship's kind of balanced to begin with. But to me, that's kind of some of the flavor of it is...
I almost
Your
attribute it
games-
to a theme thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The theme is now the physical aspects fits
Right,
the
the
ship
theme.
theme, but the name has nothing to do with it.
Riff Raff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just-
Pirates, the Riff Raff with the sea.
Yeah,
I just
mean,
think
you
of the
can
Aladdin
really,
song.
Oh, okay.
Like,
You can really try to shove it in there, but
Yeah.
there are 100.
maybe
other
that's
names that
why,
wouldn't be
like,
there.
'cause people are like, what's this game about? And no, like, maybe people thought it was something about pirates, and
Yeah.
then it's this game.
And Dex game, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, setting it up, I mean, the one thing is, like, it is, like, seriously, like, fiddly. Like,
Yes.
it is, like, you're given, like, there was never a time I placed something that I was, like,
You were
confident it was
yeah.
going to be
Oh,
there.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Not like Jenga. You know you can make it through 5 or 6 rounds before you start going.
Okay, I'm like, is this a setup for a Brett kind of joke, or?
I don't do those.
But
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
No, this one is, if you don't have some true dexterity, you're probably going to suffer
This
in
is
this game.
Which is why I took the first round I did. I put it on the top mast,
Right.
knowing it was going to fall,
yeah.
and figuring I could grab it when it was all by itself.
And
And I
when we-
didn't.
And when we talked about a game where, like dexterity games, if you are less dexterous in a competitive game, you're going to be at a disadvantage already. Well, in this game, it's doubly so because if you fail, you could collect more pieces than you even started the game with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at Brett's pile, he has significantly more pieces, but at the same time, so it almost punishes the weakest player of this type of game.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, Men at Work does too. That's kind of what we were talking about with the competitive nature of
But
dexterity
it actually
games.
punishes the next person. Because if I fail, you have to clean it up and then it's potentially fail.
Yeah.
I only lose one certificate, whether
Right,
it's...
but then you're kicked out. Whereas this
After
one,
3,
yeah,
yeah.
that is just the inherent nature of dexterity games.
Right.
It's like, well, if you're just not good at them,
Yeah,
then you better have a positive attitude,
Right.
I guess. Because, well, at the same time, it's like if you're playing a dexterity game. And, like, what happened is, like, it falls, you try to catch it, and you punch the thing. And it's like, well, that's funny, but now it's like, am I laughing at the situation or am I laughing at you? It's like, I'm laughing at you. No. It's like, I'm laughing at the situation, but it can
Right.
feel bad. It's like, well, don't
Right.
make fun of me. I was trying my best. And it's like, no, that's fucking hilarious.
It is hilarious.
But if people take it that seriously, then they're not going to enjoy it. They're not gonna wanna play it.
Exactly.
But again, this thing is so fiddly and
It's-
awesome
it's
because
like-
of it.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying, we literally, like, placed our card down, and it was like,
Yeah.
and it's like, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
And it's just an easy resolution of like, okay, just throw them back in the box. But it's like, well, that kind of made it easier on the next person. You know, it's kind of like, well, there was a lot of shit up there.
But you don't have that knowledge because you've already picked a card at that point.
That's true.
So, because sometimes you picked ones like, oh, I want to go first because I think I can make it even more difficult for the next person. Like, well, I am going to make it more difficult, but it's actually easier for me not to succeed.
Yeah, I also really like the risk-reward element of being able to double on the mass. Which in a game like this, where it's like, I'm amazed I even pulled it off. I don't even know how I did that. Even on the top rung, I'm like, how did I even pull that? That's so cool. But that's the risk I took, because if I fell because I committed to 2, if the first one stayed and the second one didn't, that's the high chance that it falls, hits us, launches that up in the air, and that all happens, and I'm like, you know what? Can we just start over?
Right.
Okay, I was like, shit. I meant to my plan was to actually knock it up, but it stopped a little. So I'm hoping I didn't break it.
No.
Maybe that was another problem. Maybe it broke for a lot of people, because there isn't really a way to like counterweight it, because it is just this metal ball at the end. Yeah.
Which, I mean, you could have different difficulty levels based on the weight of the counterweight.
Right.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool if it came with like different balls you put at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then they could do the difficulty of. I mean, they're not doing this because it was made in 2012.
Right.
But they could have done it as like sea levels, like calm seas, like rough seas.
Yeah. There's, to me,
Hurricane, turn on
Hurricane, tsunami. Someone comes in with a bucket of water.
Right. But I will say, like, from a production standard value and just kind of conceptually from a game, it's kind of cool.
It is, yeah. Like, I mean, table presence isn't talked about enough, I think, in board games. This is absolutely one that people would see and be drawn to on what's going on. Mm-hmm. And even if they don't necessarily like these games, if you're at a convention or just, like...
A bar?
Yeah, we're used to bar.
Or just, big game day.
Yeah, you would see this and you'd be like, yeah, I'll play, and most likely have a great time. Yeah, no, I had a blast with this one. It's
super solid.
It's so. I mean, now granted, again, I'm not like super thrilled that this kind of still leans.
Yeah, which I know, like I've played with it before because again, all that comes apart, so you can wiggle that bomb one to make the boat shift a little bit and turn it different ways to make it a little bit more stable and different things. But then I'm like. But here it's like, okay, so someone's first place probably placed this 4. Oh, now it's balanced.
Yeah.
Or I figure you guys are going to go with a 4,
right.
And so I'm going to go on the other side because you're going to weigh it down. And
right. And again, you know that because high number goes before a low number, that if someone plays a 4 and you're going to play a 2, they're going to already balance it out before I have to play.
That's true. And it's...
I was counting on that a couple of times.
I don't know for sure, but it seems like whenever we play Viking Seesaw, you'll see kind of what I mean. It seems like the pieces you're placing aren't necessarily drastically different weights. It's more shapes.
Here are drastically different shapes and weights.
Yeah. But not like this coffin isn't like 3 pounds and then the mouse is, an ounce or I don't know.
Right.
But like...
They're proportional to the size.
They do, yeah. It's like, okay, this feels lighter.
I'm sure they're made of the same kind of wood. They're all the same density.
Right. But yeah, I think this one's super, super fun.
Yeah.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you guys giving Riff Raff?
It's still an 8 for me.
Okay.
It's a solid 8.
So you still like Men at Work that much more, huh?
Yeah, that's why I picked it up. Because, I mean, normally I only keep one of every type of games for the most part. And I picked up Men at Work after this one because I think Men at Work is better.
Yeah. Brett?
I'm going to say 8.
Okay.
Simply because once you start losing, it's basically impossible to win.
That is very true. Like, that's kind of where I'm at is if someone gets a bunch of that, then it's like I'm absolutely out of it.
Yeah. It's still fun and it's still chaos to screw with it,
right?
And try, but
yeah,
I didn't give up. But I knew that there was no chance.
Just by games there was no chance because there's at that point not enough pieces for someone else to fail drastically to balance it out.
3-person game. 2 people are going to screw up and take a bundle.
Yeah.
The other one. Just
Yeah, it now has free reign. Oh, hey, the bottom of the ship is still available.
Hopefully they still have their numbers.
Whereas with Men at Work, it's kind of like you only have 3. I mean, like 3 things, and then you're actually out.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's not even you're not even still playing anymore.
Right.
So yeah, no, I still think Men at Work is at the top. I am also weirdly. Yeah, I am also at an 8 for this one.
Yeah.
Although, even though, we just raved about it, for some reason, 9 just seems a little bit too high, and I cannot pinpoint why.
I think it's too fiddly to be a 9.
Yeah.
It's a little too wobbly everywhere, and so you get the big crashes, which again can be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of, someone's probably going to have a bad time. It plays quick enough that's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like...
It's also inherently limited.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was just about to say that.
There's no other things you can do but which piece do I want to place this time?
Yeah.
Right.
And which ones do I want to keep for later?
Yeah,
That's
I was saying that, kind of like, not necessarily with the pieces, but more of actually where to place, because you'll have like really cool moves, but like with Manara or Men at Work, that's kind of throughout the whole game, where it's like, okay, where do we want to put it? How do we want to put it? I'm gonna risk doing this, but eventually it's like, well, I already played my 10, so I cannot risk putting it up there again.
Right.
So I'm still gonna keep it at an 8 though. I think this is just really cool.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. And I failed to catch it. Oh God, yeah, and everything is just like so slippery. Like, can I get some coarse? Like, can someone like unsand the ship? Quit sanding the fucking deck. All right, that's our thoughts on Riff Raff. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.